this is the land use public hearing at Queensborough Hall. If you wish to testify on any items, fill in a speaking request form for each item, the calendar number, whether you're for or against the item, and if you're speaking as a representative or member of a group. The public hearing shall be conducted in the following manner. The applicant will be called to give a description of the zoning action requested, an explanation of the proposed project, and respond to any questions from the chair. The floor will then be open for public speakers. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. Identify yourself at the podium for the record. At the discretion of the chair, if there's a large number of speakers on any particular item, it may be put on a second call. Let's begin the hearing. Thanks.
Calendar item number 1, BSA number 62468EZ, the applicant, Ross Group Inspector, LLP, Executive Community Board, number 11.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Naknius, on behalf of Ross Group Inspector, and this is for 18807 Northern Boulevard. It's a BSA application to extend the term of a previously approved variance, which was first approved in 1968 and renewed 5 subsequent times. It's a request for time to obtain the C of O. That expired in 2013. We have all the paperwork lined up, so that should be ready if we were to get approved. Extend the term of the variance, which expired February 7th, 2017, and a waiver of the board's rules of practice and procedure because we're filing late. It's an 18,000 square foot lot. It's a 14,700 square foot building with 3 separate uses, wholesale plumbing supply, retail stores, and office space. There are no changes to the operator or the operations, and the community board approved our request with conditions that the sidewalks be clear and that planting be maintained. We have another hearing before the Board of Standards and Appeals on August 14th. Just to clarify the plans, have the rear yard reviewed and the planting maintained.
So my understanding is that there are some community issues that the community board can include with those conditions, right?
Yes.
You're okay with the conditions? Not storing outside of Northern Boulevard, the planters being maintained, things like that. I think just affect the outer aesthetics of the property.
Absolutely. We're okay with it. We just want to be good neighbors and continue to operate.
Yeah. Why was this different occupancy not secured earlier?
The only information I have is really regarding why we filed late, which is that there was a change in administrative staff. I don't know, who was for the landlord, so I don't know why the C of O took so long. But right now, all of the paperwork is pretty much lined up. So if we were to get the approval, the C of O process shouldn't take very long at all. And the BSA asked us to do that specifically.
How long have you been there?
Since, the first variance was 1968.
How long have these owners been?
I'm not exactly sure, but it's fairly, the administrative staff is fairly recent.
So yeah? Not you.
The administrative staff that would have alerted us to do the variance is that they're fairly recent. I think in the last 2 or 3 years.
But the same owners have been there since the 50s?
I don't know the exact ownership information. I have to.
What is your role again?
I'm the land use attorney. I would have to look it up to get you the exact information.
Okay. Can you please get us the information on how long they've been there? How many years this new administrative staff has been there?
Yes.
And whether or not the administrative staff is staying,
Okay.
since there seems to be EOB violations, a missed boiler inspection report, ECB violations, work without permit, occupancy, without a C of O, and things of that nature. We appreciate the fact that it's a family business, and that there really isn't that much, many issues in the community, so that's a great thing.
All right.
But we just want to make sure that this doesn't become a habit.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I can have that sent to your office.
That'd be great.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah. Henry Euler, Auburndale Improvement Association. Thank you.
My name is Henry Euler. I'm first vice president of the Auburndale Improvement Association. The business is located within the boundaries of my civic organization. I'm representing my civic today. I'm also a member of Queens Community Board 11. We've had several concerns regarding this particular site. The variance that just expired was only a 5-year renewal because we had many issues with parking on the sidewalk, blocking the boulevard, Northern Boulevard in front of the business, with loading and unloading. And since the variance expired, there has been some improvement in terms of not parking on the sidewalk, but we still have a problem with them loading and unloading on Northern Boulevard. Now that's a problem in the morning during rush hour because there's no standing along Northern Boulevard going westbound. And when the trucks are there loading and unloading, the traffic on Northern Boulevard has to merge into 2 lanes from 3 lanes. And it's a real issue. During the committee hearing at the community board, a resident did appear and she said that she has trouble getting on the bus because there's so many trucks there usually that she has to walk into the street to get on the bus. And that's not really a good idea. One of our board members also mentioned that he passes by each morning and he sees that situation too, where there's merging going on and traffic backs up. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not a good situation. Now there's a construction equipment business on the corner that's part of this variance, and they store all of their materials outside, and it's really an eyesore to the community, and we've asked for that to be allowed because it is such a bad thing for the community. We've been told that the applicant said that the person that runs this business is leaving as of June 1st. We're not sure. We took pictures yesterday. That's pictures, the last 2 pictures in the pack I gave you. They still got the stuff on the street, and in fact there was a van blocking the bus stop. Picture 7 shows that, and there were 2 buses there, the 12 and the 13 couldn't pull into the area to pick up passengers or drop off people. So it's an issue. There was also one day a pile of pipes on the sidewalk. It didn't seem very well secured, and it's a situation that's not good. If kids pass by, they could loosen those pipes up. The planting boxes have been an issue for some time. All the stuff that they planted died, and it looked terrible for several years actually. They didn't plant anything. Now just recently they did replant, so we're happy about that. Also the certificate of occupancy, we were told that the Board of Standards and Appeals, that they didn't have a C of O since 2001. And they were supposed to get one at their last renewal in 2012. They had a year to do it, and they did not get a renewal for the 5 years that they've had the variance. Now they do have a good reputation in the community, and so we don't want to see anybody put out of business, but we want them to comply with all the conditions that the community board recommended. It's more than just what the attorney said. We are asking for a 5-year renewal once again because of the issues that we've had with the business in the past.
I mean, since you have been around for a while,
Yes.
you have a valued experience. Do you remember 5 years ago when we did the renewal, if the conditions were the same? Do you have any
Yes.
recollection of that?
Yes, I do. They were the same.
They were the same.
Right.
And is your sense that it's gotten better since the
Well,
last one?
some of the things have been better. I mean, they do try, but they're not always as active as they should be in complying with all the conditions. issues.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
That's okay. I'll finish.
You're done, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, does the attorney know when the DOB violations were given? And just why, out of curiosity, they didn't apply for the COO renewal before now?
I don't.
And that's Irving now, so they kind of figured out.
I can read you the paragraph about the violations. There are 5 open DOB violations and 4 open ECB violations, of which each is anticipated to be closed in the process to update the CFO. 4 of the DOB violations were issued between 1990 and 2003 and appear to remain open due to administrative error. The 5th DOB violation is a missed 2015 boiler inspection. So we can get that clarified, rectified before the CFO process.
When did that happen?
2015, the boiler inspection. The ECB violations is one from 1989 for failure to update the CFO, which was issued prior to the most recent one. 2 violations in 2012 were issued for work without a permit and appear to remain open due to administrative error. And the 4th one was issued because of the expiration of the variance.
Is that what- So what is the administrative error that a bunch of violations have not been?
Well, sometimes you could address a violation, but it might not have been cured in the DOB system. So, you know, as we're going through the
I've
process.
heard that.
Yeah,
So the question becomes, do you know whose mistake that was? Or maybe you think it's just DOB didn't act on 3 of the violations, DOB didn't correct it?
I can't say personally, but from what I understand, as we're getting the CFO, we'll close out all the open violations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else to testify? All right. If the attorney could bring back to their clients that they are fortunate that their relationship with the community is so strong. And so I would suggest that before we continue in the process, that they figure out how to close the violations,
Okay.
administrative error or not.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Huh? Mr. Irving has another question for Mr. Mueller. Henry.
The photos are showing different types of things being stored on the sidewalk. Is this all from the plumbing store?
No, most of the stuff is from the construction store on the corner, but it's part of the variance. It's, right. They do, the plumbing supply sometimes has pipes on the sidewalk and stuff like that.
Seeing no one else to testify, the item is closed.
Calendar item number 2, Mueller number C 180280 PCQ. The applicant is Department of Health and Dental Hygiene and Department of Citywide Administrative Services, Effective Community Board number 5.
Hello, my name is Sally Yap. I am the Executive Director of Facilities Planning at the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. I am here to talk about the department's matter in front of the board here for a site acquisition of a pet receiving center or a pet admission center in Queens. This site is, we're leasing from a landlord, a private landlord, to replace our current pet admission center in Regal Park. The current one is very small and we need a larger space. So we were able, after a number of months, maybe even years of searching, to acquire this site in Middle Village. It's practically double the space of what we currently have. And so once, you know, and the community board number 5 has approved the request, and so we're now hoping to move forward with the Euler application and to be able to complete our lease for this site. I understand, and with the health department it contracts out with the animal care centers to operate these shelters and pet admission centers. We are in the process of searching for sites for a full service shelter, which I know is something of great concern to people in Queens. If there are any questions, I have handouts.
What exactly will take place there?
Sorry?
What exactly will take place there?
They will be, people can bring in their pets for if they want to, give up their pets, and they will take them in, and because this is a small site, they do not keep the pets overnight. They will bring them to Brooklyn, where there is a full shelter, and they will refer people to other
You
places.
can adopt pets there also.
Actually, no, not here that I know of, but they can refer people to
So the pets go somewhere else?
the pets go somewhere. Unless the pets that are there for the day, and if somebody walks in and sees a pet there that they could adopt, they might. But it's not a pet adoption center. It's a pet receiving center. And that is what the current site is, and that this new site will replace, that site. And we are, the full animal shelter will have the whole range of services.
I don't have a location.
Not yet.
Even an idea.
Not yet. Not at the moment. We're actively searching.
Questions? Thank you. Could you be our motion to testify? Item is closed.
Okay, thank you.
Calendar item number 3, Euler number C180138, CMQ, applicant O'Neill's of Maspeth, effective community board number 5.
Good morning, Nora Martins from Ackerman LLP, representing O'Neill's of Maspeth, the applicant for this rezoning application. I've just provided you with a copy of the area map because unfortunately we had a little mix-up and I don't have a presentation board with it, and I think it just might be helpful to refer to as I describe the proposed rezoning. So O'Neill's is a family-owned and operated Use Group 6 eating and drinking establishment that has been operating at this location in Maspeth for over 80 years. The proposed zoning map amendment will legalize O'Neill's non-conforming commercial use and permit a partial enlargement of the existing restaurant. In addition, the proposed zoning changes to the O'Neill restaurant site and some adjacent sites will better reflect existing non-conforming commercial uses and non-complying residential development in the project area. The project area is, as I mentioned, in Maspeth in Community District 5. It's located at the intersection of, probably easier to refer to that, at the intersection of 53rd Drive and 65th Place, and includes block 2374, lot 101, which is O'Neill's restaurant, and also lots 106, 197, 198, and 199, and then lots 1, 2, and 3 on block 2381. O'Neill's is located in a one-story building on lot 101. Also, a small portion of that building is occupied by another Use Group 6 use, Hill Pharmacy. The entire project area has been zoned R4 since 1961, which does not reflect historical commercial use at this intersection. While the surrounding area is very R4 consistent development, this intersection has been characterized as a small local commercial hub. You have O'Neill's restaurant, which has been there for over 80 years. And then you also have immediately adjacent on 65th Place next to the restaurant, 2-story buildings that all have commercial use on the ground floor, including a deli, a laundromat, and a restaurant. And then across 65th, you have, again, 3 2-story mixed-use buildings that have a dentist's office, another bar restaurant, Glenn Patrick's, and a medical office. Lastly, a final property included in the rezoning area is the building on 53rd adjacent to O'Neill's, which is a 4-story multifamily building, which the residential use complies with the R4 zoning district, but it is overbuilt in that zoning district. The proposed rezoning would change the project area from the single R4 district to 3 separate zoning districts to reflect the conditions on the ground and allow the proposed enlargement. First, there would be an R5D zoning district with a C22 commercial overlay, which would affect only the O'Neill's site. The R5D would also include the adjacent multifamily building, which would still actually be overbuilt in the R5D, but would be much more close to complying. And lastly, the 6 other properties included in the rezoning would just have a commercial overlay established to legalize the commercial use, but not permit any additional commercial development. The C22 in the R5D allows a 2.0 FAR, which would allow the partial enlargement of O'Neill's restaurant. The C22 in the R4, which would remain, is only a 1 FAR. So the proposed rezoning, as you can see, would allow partial enlargement of the restaurant to add a accessory banquet hall that seat a maximum of 140 people. It would increase the height of the building to 25 feet. The enlargement would be about 4,500 square feet, and which would increase the overall FAR of the restaurant to just under a 1.5 FAR, 12,530 square feet. Community Board 5 heard this application and they issued an approval with conditions. They voted 32 in favor, 8 against, 1 abstention. Their conditions were that a restrictive declaration be recorded saying that there would be no residential development at the site, which would hypothetically be permitted as of right should the R5D zoning be approved. And also that the applicant work to obtain 2 letters from other locations in the neighborhood where they could accommodate additional parking, given that this would be an expansion of the restaurant.
Are we able to do that?
Yes, we're committed to doing all of that. We also have 9 letters in support that I can hand in from people who live in the multifamily dwelling right next door and also in other residences directly across the street from the restaurant, and a petition signed by about 200 people in support of the application.
Why do people vote against the community board? Out of curiosity, O'Neill's has been there forever.
It's funny, a lot of people who, had some concerns were actually love O'Neill's and
Yeah.
frequent it, have family parties there. I think there was, probably the main concern was accommodating traffic. I think this intersection, because of all the commercial uses, there is some congestion. We're not, there is another bar or restaurant across the street, which does contribute to that. I think that was the main concern, and there was also some concerns about potential residential redevelopment of the site, which absolutely is not the intention. This is a long-standing commercial use that's, I think, really an asset to the community. I don't think anyone wants to see it go. I think it was just a concern about managing parking should the enlargement be approved.
The area next door would still be out of conformity, right? Still not be complying to the zoning of the it's still too big.
Yes, so it can't further enlarge.
Where's the location that you have for the other 2 sites, do you know?
Yeah, we've been working with some, we have,
Apart, you don't have to tell me the details
Sure.
of the contract now, but
right,
is it like a parking lot? Is it a retail store that has parking available? Is it
a few of them are auto-related uses that have available parking outside of their hours of operation, which would be our peak hours of operation, which are right in the neighborhood. And then we've also been speaking with Martin Luther School, which is located across the highway, but we would have about shuttle service for the valets.
And that parking would be free for the residents, for the folks going to O'Neill's?
Yes. They currently have valet
Not
parking.
usable space for anybody in the development or anything like that. This is really for O'Neill's to be able to use for their customers.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. You're sticking around if there's any questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. First we have Nicole Callender, who is for the project. She's a neighbor. Hello.
Hello, I'm Nicole Callender. I live around the corner from Wheels on 64th Street. I've lived there almost all my life. My family's been there for probably about 50 years, and we love that place. It's kind of like a home. Everyone there is really nice, and it's really just a family-oriented place. Everyone that works there is from Queens. It really helps a lot of other people out. We do a lot of charity work. I've had family that's worked there for years too, and honestly, when it comes to parking, Maspet's always had a problem with parking, especially within that area, and that has to do with people having a lot of cars. My one neighbor has like 5 cars, and it's only one house, and you know, that's a big problem, but I mean, O'Neill's has really not affected our parking situation. It's just the area. It comes with the territory.
Thomas Brady, also a neighbor. Thank you.
Morning, my name's Tom Brady. I live at 5417 65th Place, directly across the street from O'Neill's. This morning, I want to tell you, I not only speak, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous,
But
we're
I'm a
all
little
friends
nervous.
and family here.
But I don't only speak for myself, I speak for my mother also. Who's
Oh,
90,
mother?
90,
90.
yeah.
God bless you.
And been in that same home since 1940. I lived there with her, take care of her. I've been here for 61 years. I just want to tell you that O'Neill's has been a fantastic neighbor. All the things they do for the FDNY, the widows, the NYPD, St. Jude's, they've just been a fantastic neighbor over the years. And I'm here to fully support the project.
I appreciate it. I'm in the same home also, not for 62 years. In the same home for 52 years.
So yeah, so I talked with my mother, and you know, we think it's a great thing. We fully support the project.
I appreciate your time coming here and telling your mother hello, and God bless her.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dan Ryle, also, oh, you're an owner, Dan.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello.
you're for the project.
That's it.
Do you have any questions for the owners? All right, thank you very much for coming, though. That's very nice that you actually came yourself. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other testifiers? Having seen no other testifiers, the item is closed. Next Land Use Committee meeting is June 21st, 2018. Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you. Good luck to you. I'm going to come by your place, sir. It's funny, you know, I see you all the time, like, I used to ride there. It's an old place. Yeah, when I was running around there. You know, I love seeing
Oh, it's Eric.
the new show that he's But I didn't even on your show, they got the new wife, the old wife coming back. And I was feeling she's proud. You did a very nice job, Mr. Brady, with pleasure, good.
Now I'm fine.
I have that effect on me. I have that effect on guys, you know? So anyway, good luck to you. Thank you very much for coming.
Nice meeting you.
Just as long as it's not.
All right. Good. We're good?
Alright, cool.
Chris, you good?
Yeah. Nice and quick. Always
Yes,
nice.
I always try. It is rugged and it's my best quality.
A little quicker than the last one.
You just use the stand on there. I know. And that one doesn't hold, so the microphone, it folds. Can't make that. I kind of pushed all of these down as tight as possible.